Welcome to the Fund Your Retirement podcast.
The mineral constraints coming our way through this clean energy transition that are upon us. I just think it's fascinating.
Where
we're headed.
And the clean energy transition is what it's all about, and the constraints that's going to create. I mean, I've listened to so many of your talks now. It's a really great message you've got. It's fantastic.
No, I think it's there's my message I've been preaching. My mantra is that this is going to be the century of clean energy transition and mineral constraints, the likes that humankind has never seen before. And there's a couple of really huge disconnects. I think the two key macro trends that are in play. One is the cost of renewables, R&D coming down. I think they're overplayed. Just how low cost they are. They're low cost when they're on. Solar and wind are effective when the wind's blowing and the sun is up.
Yeah.
But the unfortunate negative side effect is they're variable.
Yeah.
And so having a security in your power supply, I think, is one of the bigger risks to the propagation of clean energy. I don't think the clean energy community realizes just how out of balance that could create the grid. And I think Germany and California and even Southern Australia, there's some great examples of this and the pains that it causes. And there's a lot of clean energy advocates that are transitioning and opening up a larger voice for nuclear to help provide a very stable baseline to help support these renewables. And I think that in itself is one key discussion. The second is just the electrification of everything, which we all see, everything from our vehicles to 5G, all these IoT devices. I mean, it's getting to where you can't even buy an appliance without it being connected to the internet now, right? And so
Internet of Things, isn't it?
We're going from about, today we're close to 2 billion connected devices. It's going to be 4 billion by 2024. So just an astonishing rate of growth and the amount of connected devices. And with that, when you think about trying to electrify everything, the funny thing about electrons is they need metals to transition. I mean, the energy just doesn't pass through the air. As soon as I say that, there's always some naysayer that says, "Oh, what about these wireless phone charging systems?" Yes, over a short distance, you can do a wireless system. By the way, there's huge transmission losses with those systems. And transmission losses are a key topic as well when you get into some of the detail that I present. And so this is going to drive a huge demand for copper, for silver. I think the platinum group metals, as it relates to the hydrogen economy, are going to have a profound new role, and in fact, even a bigger role than the PGMs do today in catalytic converters. I think there'll be a transition in the three key metals.
Yeah.
In the future, it'll be platinum and little understood ruthenium and iridium, two of my favorite PGM minor metals that come along as part of the six-pack, PGMs.
Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, in the battery world, all those battery minerals, lithium, nickel, and cobalt are under a lot of pressure and will remain under pressure. And rare earths, scandium. There's a list of other strange elements on the periodical table that are really going to be challenged.
Yeah.
And all these different roles about clean energy in this transition.
Yeah.
And the mining, it's funny. You look at the battery space in particular. You hear all these announcements. The hype is just it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
All the big auto OEMs saying how they're going to transition by such and such a date. They're building these battery factories with all this huge nameplate capacity. But it's like there's this awakening going on over the past couple of years. Oh, we're going to need the minerals to actually make those batteries that we're building the nameplate capacity for. They don't.
Yeah.
There's a dramatic lack of fundamental supply chain management, planning through the requirements, the mineral requirements. And the mining sector is just woefully lagging the needs of what they're talking about, what they're prescribing for the solar ramp, for the wind ramp, for the EV transitions, and for the battery requirements. I think, I study I'm based in California, right outside the Silicon Valley. And so I've been a student of the clean energy space for some time. I was the front man for Tanaka Precious Metals, a Japanese-based large producer and actually one of the premier suppliers of fuel cell catalyst materials. So I've been going to a lot of these hydrogen economy type of conferences for years and studying the renewable situation. And it's, again, I think there's just a disconnect on what their eyes are bigger than their than what we can support with the mining. And so I think we're going to hit a lot of, it's going to be a bumpy transition. It's not going to go as fast as people think. We're going to gap out. We could talk, at length. I think it's fascinating if you're a student of the battery space. You go to the key battery conferences over the past 5 years, and for the first 3 years, all it was the engineering mindset driving the discussion for chemistries that are higher in nickel composition. Those you can get a higher energy density, meaning pack more energy per kilogram of the battery material. And keep in mind, batteries for a Tesla range from 1,100 pounds to 1,300 pounds per vehicle.
Yeah.
You're not talking grams. You're talking massive amounts of weight times millions of vehicles. That suddenly translates into millions of metric tons of lithium and nickel, cobalt.
Well,
and there's really, I think, a huge strain that's already developed. And I think the commodity prices reflect that. Lithium is touching highs again, cobalt, nickel as well. And we're struggling to meet this penetration rate on EVs in the neighborhood of 4.5%. Well, how about when we jump to 8 and 12 and 20? Trust me, the slate of mines that are on the whiteboard, so to speak, are not sufficient to support that level of growth.
I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you don't have to stop there either. We have more videos on the screen for you and lots more insightful content on our channel and at our website fundyourretirement.com. I want to thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.